Hey, it's Jack Gately from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. You've got questions, I've got answers, and today we have a great question from a comment on our YouTube channel, so let's bring it up for you. Nell Sator 1036 asks, nice video, Jack. If you have a full-time job, wouldn't it be difficult to also work at an agency? Isn't a large part of being an agent the fact you should always or almost always be available? Wow, this is a red hot question, coming in hot. Very, very good question. Let's break it down. So the comment was made on a YouTube video that we did about how to get started in commercial real estate, and I really think you could use many of those tips in that video for any type of real estate, really. But in that scenario, I was talking with a tech worker. He has to go to the office like 2 or 3 times a week, but mostly he works from home. And could you get started in real estate that way? Especially he wanted to just do commercial real estate. And I think there's just so many different opportunities out there for different ways you can affiliate with different brokerages. Different brokerages have different rules. And I think it would most certainly be possible to find a situation, if you were bringing value, that you could find some place that would work with you. So that's my feeling on that. But I think your question, which the part that really got me at least, was, aren't you supposed to be available all the time or almost all the time? And I think that in modern society, with your office is your phone, right? You've heard me say that before. That can be a real challenge. And there are people who have no limits in terms of what they expect from you in terms of response time. And consequently, I'm going to bring up the chalkboard and actually show you how I do it. This is just for me. This doesn't mean it's right for everybody, but this is kind of how I handle my business and how I manage my incoming messages, so to speak, right? So let's take a look at the chalkboard. Okay, so I draw up a little chart here. I didn't leave much space for my camera, so I was sticking up on the corner there. All right, so this is for the real estate business, not for the real estate school business. This is for the real estate business. And as a general rule of thumb, as you can see to the upper left in the red, I'm open for real estate business basically Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 p.m., right? Saturday, kind of like 8 to 3. And Sunday is very important for me. Of course, everyone's different. This is right for me. This is the right answer for me. It might not be the right answer for you. But on Sunday, I do not open until noon. So if you call, email, or text me before noon, there's a pretty good chance you will not get an answer. Unless you're like having a real crisis, like the property is burning down or something like that. There's probably nothing at 7 a.m. at Sunday at noon. There's nothing that happens Sunday at 7 a.m. that can't wait till noon. And so I've kind of just, that's what it is. I'm closed until noon. And yeah, so, and then, available Sunday afternoon. And by the way, I just think that most people, maybe not in the beginning when you're like scraping for everything, but I think when you have so many inputs, you do have to carve yourself some time not to be working. I think if you do that, you'll actually be more effective and you won't burn out, so something to think about. All right. So I usually have 3 different types of people that can reach me. Clients, then my agents. I've got 30 plus agents. And then people or agents that I'm co-broking a deal with. Let's take clients first. Clients can contact me by phone, text, or email. I usually like my clients to pick a lane, either text or email. Otherwise, you have a conversation on email that bleeds into the text and you don't know where. Yeah. So I would prefer everyone to kind of have, like, pick one. If you want to do text, fine. If you want to do email, fine. But one or the other, because once you have conversations kind of blurring through both, yeah, like it's hard to keep track. And email, I think, has a better archivable record of the conversation. Just my preference. My agents, they also can do phone, text, or email. And once again, same thing. If we're texting, let's text. If we're emailing, let's email. I do prefer, especially for my agents, that if it's a non-time sensitive thing, that I do prefer that they email. Now, if they have a time sensitive thing, by all means, call me right away, even well with outside the hours. And if you have a text or also an emergency or whatever way at 11 o'clock at night or whatever, you can text me as well. But for non-emergency stuff, send an email. If it's an administrative thing. Oh, Jack, how do I renew my license? Or whatever it is, you can email me. But otherwise, for my agents, phone, text, email, pretty much whenever you want. I think all of my agents have some measure of boundaries, and they're good at that. Mostly because I've kind of trained them to be good. Passively kind of trained them to be like that. Now, other agents for whom I'm co-broking. During the hours I'm open, I will take your call. Absolutely. I will probably not respond to your text. Probably not. I will ignore your text. If you send me a showing request by text, I never got it. If you ask for a price increase or tell me that, or trying to tell me something by text, I probably won't even respond to you. I never got it. So I do not text message co-broking agents. I think that's only an invitation for unprofessionalism, and I think a lot of people, other agents out there, can be very abusive with your time. And I don't even buy into it from the get-go. You can either call me or you can email me. So I'm pretty strict about that. I will email you back fairly quickly, but if you need immediate assistance, like the home inspector is going to be a half an hour late, call me. Pick up the phone. Who is it what generation doesn't have good phone skills? The millennials? I don't know. I can't keep track of my generations. There's Z and there's X and millennial. I don't know. Boomers. I know boomers can do phones. But I'm not a boomer. I'm a little on the young side. Thank you very much to be a boomer. So what's that make me? X? I think that makes me X. So this is how I handle it. This doesn't mean it's right. It just means it's right for me. All right, last 2 points I want to make. There are times during the business day where you need to make that phone call or need to send that email because it's a time-sensitive thing, especially if you're like in the throes of negotiating a real estate transaction. Sometimes you really got to make that phone call. So if you're stuck inside of some cube at some, big office, and you don't have the ability to step outside to make that phone call or send that email, that can definitely be a problem. Second, there are times during usually almost always the business day where you physically need to be someplace, especially if there's a closing or a home inspection or appraisal. Those things usually happen during the business day, and usually you have several days, if not more than several days, to arrange that on the calendar. So you do need to have some flexibility in that regard. So just keep those two things in mind. So I hope this has been helpful. I know, everyone's probably going to disagree with at least something that I said, but that's okay, as I said, as long as you have a plan for how it's going to work for you. There are no right answers, only your answer in this particular case. All right, hey, I'm Jack Gately from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. Have a great day.